Welcome to all our viewers in this special broadcast where we are covering the impact of COVID-19 on industries. And this was the industry that first got affected as the pandemic started to spread. I'm talking about the travel and tourism and the hotel industry. Joining me right now to understand the dynamics as they are in the current shape and form is Sanjay Sethi. He's the MD and CEO at Chalet Hotels. Mr. Sethi, thanks very much for taking out the time. Let me first ask you, how is the industry, grappling with the situation right now? How are you trying to manage things as they are?
Well, thank you for having me on the channel. To begin with, obviously very tough times, not just for our industry, but everyone around the globe. And like everyone else, we've sort of picked up our A game to counter the current challenges. I think the key word here is resilience, to make sure that we fight very hard against the challenges that are in front of us. At the same time, make sure that our businesses stay safe and ready for the future. So we've sort of broken up our action into 4 or 5 areas. The first step, obviously, in the early days was to ensure the health and safety of our guests and employees. So a lot of work in the early days went into that. Then the firefighting for the first 7 to 10 days that happened. Every day there was some new discovery, there was some something new happening, and we had to react to some of those things. That's how we sort of started off, and from then we've sort of moved into more of a deeper planning stage. Right now, we're looking at the short-term planning stage, and which has already been, the planning is concluded, we're executing that. And as we move into a longer-term planning stage, we're looking at how the world will change, not just for us, but for everyone in the world, and what do we need to do to sort of create or cater to the new normal.
What kind of planning, Mr. Sethi, prepares you for a situation like this? This is unprecedented. No one's seen this happen before. And across industries, everyone is grappling with issues for the first time, such kind of issues for the first time, which you're not prepared to handle. So in the best possible scenario, for occupancy rates, obviously, while they have dropped in the visibility for occupancy rates to rise maybe some time away, the impact for you would be two-sided, right? While your forward bookings get impacted, your bookings that have already been done, customers must be lining up for refunds as well. So that too causes a drain.
So look, 2-3 things. We are fortunate to partner with global brands, and they've got the best-in-class policies that work for them as far as customer cancellations are concerned. And I think they were very quick off the block announcing their offers. And the loyalty of these brands is so strong that most customers have they've been able to handle the situation as best as they could. Fortunately for us, the brands that we work with had faced this a month or 2 months earlier at China, and there was some learning that had come into play over there. That learning curve that they had, which is very sharp, was rolled out fairly early in the game in India. So just to give you a reference, as early as mid-January, in fact, second week of January, we had the protocols and the SOPs in case the coronavirus came to India, what our hotels should do. So whether they were on health and safety SOPs or whether they were business SOPs, we were already discussing them. We had live cases from our partners in China, in the Greater China region, and those were discussed, and we had made our own plans by then. So yes, to some extent, we were able to be a little more proactive because of our partnership with global partners.
Is it safe to assume that occupancies would have come down by the maximum?
Yes. Look, I'm not. I cannot speak about specifically our portfolio because we're in the silent period. But the industry in India, I think around 25 to 30% of the hotels are shut down. So that's some serious inventory off the block right now. And the ones that are open are somewhere between high single digits to low double-digit occupancies, and that to the people who are stuck in those hotels and can't move out because of the lockdown.
So when do you see things if at all they have to start improving, when is the most realistic time that you feel that things could come back on stream? Like we were just earlier talking about it, essential travel will happen. You'll have work-related travel happening, but leisure-related travel will still take some time to come back, which will affect occupancy rates.
Yeah, I think every kind of travel is going to be relooked at. Your guess is as good as mine in terms of when things will get normalized. Our view is that things will ramp up pretty slow. It's going to be more of slightly sharper L-shape, curve as far as the hotel industry is concerned. It's not going to be a V, it's not going to be a sharp U. It could be a tapered U at best. We forget, what we're doing as an industry or as companies is we are planning for the worst case scenario, but we're working towards making sure that we never get there. So as far as our financial planning is concerned, the cash flow planning is concerned, and the operation planning is concerned in hotels, we are making sure the plans are in place for worst case scenario. However, we are not experiencing those yet, and we think at some point of time we're going to come out of it. When that's going to happen, I can hazard a guess. I think most of April is going to be the way it is. The lockdown is likely to impact most of April. I don't see occupancies coming back in May. But yeah, there could be some climb up in June, July onwards. And it will take to fourth quarter for industry to come to probably the new normal.
Sanjay, good morning. Neeraj here. Just wondering, yesterday one of the largest consumer lending companies mentioned that they are going out on cutting the OPEX meaningfully in order to bring down costs in these tough times, because it's impossible to gauge what will happen in 3 to 6 months' time. What about your industry? I mean, can you bring down OPEX, employee costs, etc., in a meaningful way to combat the impact of this slowdown currently? I know that the industry has taken salary cuts, but that's just one part, right?
Sure. So it's like this. We are a capital-intensive industry, and we are a people-intensive industry. So these are the two critical characteristics of this industry that define, especially for larger hotels, the future. On the capital side, we've sought relief from the government. We need extended restructuring of loans as an industry. We probably need sort of freeze time sort of a situation as far as the EMIs are concerned as an industry. So that's the support that we need from the government and RBI on that front. Second thing is the employee cost, which is a significant cost, the largest cost in our business. On that front, we obviously need to rethink our whole organization structures and what the future of the industry will be like in terms of the manning ratios. We were fortunate at Chalet to have very efficient manning ratios right from the beginning.